This is the Everyday AI Show, the everyday podcast where we simplify AI and bring its power to your fingertips. Listen daily for practical advice to boost your career, business, and everyday life.
How can tech startups grow with AI? We talk so much on this show about AI and growth and tech startups, but we're combining them all today. So I'm excited about that. Welcome. This is Everyday AI. This is your daily live stream podcast and free daily newsletter, helping all of us better understand and better use artificial intelligence. Thank you for joining us. My name's Jordan Wilson. And if you are joining us live, thank you and welcome. Please, what questions do you have about using AI to grow? Whether you're a tech startup or not, if you just want to better understand it, let us know. And if you are listening on the podcast, thank you. So many people reaching out, saying, "Hey, found the Everyday AI Show on the podcast." So I love hearing from our audience. So check your show notes. We always include other links, ways to get in contact, all that good stuff. So before we talk about using AI to help tech startups grow, let's first go over the AI news as we do every single day. All right, so a couple big stories here. The Biden administration is considering AI chip restrictions on Chinese firms. So the Biden administration is contemplating imposing stringent of controls on the export of AI chips to Chinese companies. And this is a move aimed at safeguarding this critical U.S. technology. So the U.S. is mulling ways to close that loophole that right now allows Chinese companies to access the United States chips through kind of overseas subsidiaries. And this step could significantly impact the global supply chain on chips. And, we talk about chips all the time here on the show because it's important. And a lot of people don't realize how much these generative, these GPU chips are actually powering our economy. All right. So do you want $15,000 from Microsoft Bing? Well, if you can find bugs in their AI platforms, you might just get that. So yeah, Microsoft is incentivizing users to test its AI-powered Bing search engine by offering these rewards of up to $15,000 for uncovering significant bugs. So this new bug bounty program, it is aiming to increase Bing security and performance. And this is just reflecting kind of the growing importance of the user experience in the competitive generative search engine market, right? So, Google is going all in on their search generative experience. So Bing is kind of upping the ante here, literally, by offering users, and this, I believe it covers all AI-powered Bing search services. So on Bing.com, Microsoft Edge, the Microsoft Start application, and the Skype mobile application as well. So if you can find some bugs, you might have a nice little payday from Microsoft Bing. All right, last but not least, speaking of big search giants, Google is promising to take the legal heat for AI copyright issues by using some of its new AI platforms. So Google is stepping up to protect users of its generative AI technologies from those potential copyright infringements. So they are offering this to encourage the creative use of its different AI systems while safeguarding users from legal disputes. And this is a move that's actually following some others. We've seen Adobe offer some similar legal protection, because this is actually something that is really heightened right now because, Adobe just had some big announcements in AI. Canva had some big announcements in AI. So this Google announcement, it is covering 7 different platforms across their Duet AI inside of Workspace. And this includes, text generated with its AI in Google Docs, Gmail, images in Google Slides and Google Meet. So it's covering a lot of different platforms. So we have these big companies offering this kind of legal protection if you're using their AI services and you run into copyright infringement. You know what? If anyone out here listening, whether you're live or on the podcast, if you've heard of this actually happening, reach out. I'd love to do an episode about that because I'm especially curious how this will eventually pan out. And will, presumably these companies are going to foot the bill, but what's going to happen? All right. So we are having a tech issue right now. I'm sorry about that. There we go. All right, we're back. So So you didn't tune in today to listen to all of the AI news. You tuned in to talk about AI and how tech startups specifically can grow with AI. So we have a guest on for that. So please help me welcome to the Everyday AI Show, Cindy Fossouo, who is the CEO of Information Systems Builder. Cindy, thank you for joining us.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Cindy joins the elite club of people who join the show live from the West Coast. So super appreciate you spending your very early morning with us.
No problem.
All right. So tell us just quickly a little bit about what Information Systems Builders is and what you all do.
Yeah, so an information systems builder, we help tech startups with their branding and marketing, right? We're a marketing solutions company. And, tech startups have a really hard time just branding themselves, especially with marketing. They are competing with a lot of, big tech companies like Apple, Google, and they're also competing with, tech startups that are being created every day. So they're tech geniuses, but when it comes to marketing and, describing the product and especially the message, it has to be, you need to know who's your target audience, who are you messaging to. They have a really hard time. So we help them with that.
Yeah, and I mean, what's been your experience so far working with these tech startups? So you say, yeah, they're the kind of geniuses in their area, but they might need help in other areas. So what's been your experience so far working with these tech startups? Because I know even from my own experience, you have them all across the board. Sometimes it's people who it's kind of their second career, and they already have a couple decades of experience, and they're diving into something new. And sometimes it's the younger generation who are very green. So just talk a little bit about your experience so far working with these startups.
I mean, my experience has been great. I think in the beginning, tech startups, they don't think they need the marketing. They think, well, I have a great product. That means the customers will come. That means the users will come because I have a great product. But that's not how it works, right? You have to have that message, that great messaging behind you. You have to have that marketing behind you for people to understand what is your product, for people to understand how amazing your product is. And people don't know how amazing your product is if you just tell them, especially if they don't know you, right? If Mark Zuckerberg came out with a new product right now, people trust him, right? And, we would know, okay, it's a great product. But when you're, Cindy and nobody knows you, you really have to get out there and make sure that your product makes sense. Who are you messaging it to? And it sounds easy, but it's not, because you need to make sure that the person, and a lot of people think when you're doing marketing is everybody's my customer. It's like, no, you need to find out who exactly are you targeting. That's very important.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, if you are joining us live, thank you. Maybrit's joining, saying curious to hear how other tech startups are using AI. So yeah, I'll even throw that out to you, Cindy. So in your experience, so far, how are tech startups even using AI? Maybe not even specifically, with Information Systems Builder, but how are you seeing them using? Are they succeeding at it? Are they not? What's been your experience?
I think with me, and I know with Information Systems Builder, a lot of companies that are AI based are coming to us to help them with their branding and marketing and using our platform. I think they're using it amazing. AI is just something that is just so big right now, and it is, it's. And if I dive in with Information Systems Builder, it's very cost efficient, right? It's a great cost efficient it's a great, low cost efficient for growth and success. And I really think that, they're just using AI to make it more easier for everyone. And, with ChatGPT here and, and I think people are getting to understand AI more, right? The more they listen to podcasts, they learn more about it. So I think they're doing an amazing job with AI at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think it's, especially the tech startups are the one kind of fueling AI's growth. I would say definitely. Speaking of that, you said, hey, as companies are learning and they're figuring out firsthand using systems like ChatGPT, something we talk about here on the show all the time.
Mhm.
I think there's always been this debate. Hey, like, is AI going to take my job? Is it just going to help me? What's your take on that? Because people have it seems like there's almost a line in the sand. But what's your kind of take on that, if specifically in the tech scene?
I don't think AI is going to replace, I don't think it's here to replace us. And I think that's why people are very skeptical of AI. It's like, okay, is it here to replace my engineering job? Is it here to replace my marketing job? What's going on? And I think, marketing is a tool where it's more, it would make everybody, it would be more easier on everybody's job. Right. And, now it just depends on the future, right? Is it going to replace a whole human being? I don't think so. I think it would just be a tool that will help everybody's life get easier. But how does that look like, right? Do they pay you lesser because they know you have AI? Or do they pay you more because they expect more now because they know that you are using AI? And we could say that we could go beyond that and say education, right? I'm sure professors are knowing that a lot of their students are using ChatGPT right now. What do you do? And, I was reading some articles and some professors are expecting their students to, use ChatGPT right now. And now they're making the homeworks harder. So they just know that, okay, you guys are going to use AI. So, I think for me, I can't wait to see the future of where this AI could go. I think AI could be so big that it's going to be so big of our imagination. But I think a lot of people are very scared of, is it going to replace them? And I don't think so.
Yeah. You brought up an interesting point, because I think even in, the SaaS space, so, these companies are trying to, integrate AI into everything they do, especially if you're a startup, you just try to slap that, AI label so you can go out and raise more money. What's been your experience in that so far? Are you seeing that tech startups are correctly leveraging AI, or are they just, like I said, just like saying, hey, where can we kind of say that we're AI powered so we can go out and, potentially raise more money?
Well, I think those are the bad AIs, right? I think when you are using AI just because you want to raise more money and just because investors right now in San Francisco, when you have AI in there in your startup, it's like, we're giving you all of the money, right? So I really think that AI is it's a great tool, but I think companies should not use AI because it's what is in right now. They should use AI if it makes sense for the company. That's the key, making sure that there it's AI powered, but is it really, right? Is it really, how is it helping customers, and is it even, because I'm sure AI is not for every industry, right? So they just need to make sure. So in my experience, there's a lot of SaaS companies that were SaaS, because right now the tech industry is having a recession right now. It's very, very hard to raise money. It's very hard for users. So right now, a lot of them are taking a step back and trying to see, how can I incorporate AI, right? And so my position is making sure that your company it just makes sense with your company.
Yeah, it's that is a good point, because I think, very early on, if we were having this conversation maybe 2 years ago, it's completely different, because I don't think companies, SaaS, SaaS companies and tech startups were struggling as much because you had, all of the venture capital firms and private equity just looking, especially early on, as the chat GPT craze is going. Everyone's looking for anything, anything AI related, anything GPT related. And, Cindy, you bring up a good point now where that's not necessarily how things are going right now in California, kind of the hub for all things SaaS and the hub for all things even AI here in the US. So, as you work with tech founders, then, what's your advice to them specifically about implementing AI? Because, on one side, it's okay, do they need it to raise money? But then on the other side is it actually helping you achieve your goal, or are you taking on a burden that you may not want to? So kind of like, what's your advice for other tech founders, for other SaaS founders, maybe, who are kind of on that, should we use AI or not, kind of question?
I think it's very important to get educated, right? And to listen to podcasts like Everyday AI, right? And making sure that you get educated about AI and go to conferences and, bring different, bring AI experts, because like I said previously, you just don't want to say, I'm just going to put AI in my company and it's good for the public. It's good for the media. It's good to raise money. So I think just being educated, right? Every day is learning, what is AI? Is it here to take on the world? Do I like AI? Do I believe in this? So I think not just going with the trend, but making sure that you yourself, you understand AI and that your whole team understands AI. So I think it's more than just putting the AI label. It's more of you understanding what it is and you believing in AI. I mean, some people don't believe in AI. They think it's here to destroy the world. So, making sure that you just understand. And if I just have to give a general advice to all founders, I would say, networking is very important. And you never know too much. Also, you're always learning. As a founder, you're always learning. You'll make mistakes. It's very important to know that you're always learning, and all of the mistakes are good because it will make you grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You definitely have to make mistakes. And, Tanya, thank you for the comment here. Tanya saying, thank you for bringing up the point that AI increases our personal value to the company through expanding our knowledge. Absolutely. Cindy, real quick, I'm also curious, outside of, this California, I think tech bubble, because I think the attitudes and are maybe a little bit different. And sometimes the rest of the country, we're always saying, okay, what's going on in Silicon Valley? What's going on in California with tech startups? But maybe if someone's listening, if a tech founder is listening outside of California, maybe what advice can you give them on, best ways to just easily implement AI to help their company grow?
Are you still running in circles trying to figure out how to actually grow your business with AI? Maybe your company has been tinkering with large language models for a year or more, but can't really get traction to find ROI on Gen AI. Hey, this is Jordan Wilson, host of this very podcast. Companies like Adobe, Microsoft, and NVIDIA have partnered with us because they trust our expertise in educating the masses around generative AI to get ahead. And some of the most innovative companies in the country hire us to help with their AI strategy and to train hundreds of their employees on how to use Gen AI. So whether you're looking for ChatGPT training for thousands or just need help building your front-end AI strategy, you can partner with us too, just like some of the biggest companies in the world do. Go to youreverydayai.com/partner to get in contact with our team, or you can just click on the partner section of our website. We'll help you stop running in those AI circles and help get your team ahead and build a straight path to ROI on Gen AI.
It's going to be so cliche what I'm going to say, but I'll say come to come to San Francisco, come here. But I would say I would say just making sure to learn. I mean, I think it sounds like I'm just repeating myself, but I think it's a very key thing of just learning what AI is and having experts to help you with that, and making sure that you network and I'm actually speaking at an AI conference soon, and just making sure that you go to these conferences. I don't know if they do virtual AI conferences, but the one that I'm speaking to, it is virtual. So just going to, podcasts and conferences. Thank God there's now virtually. You could have conferences virtually, which is super cool, because before you had to come to San Francisco for the conferences, or, because in San Francisco, there is, AI conferences every week. There's always AI. So making sure that those online, AI conferences you're going to, and you're just getting educated and you ask questions, and know that I know for my company, we've implemented AI, and you have to train AI. It's not out to the public yet, because we're just like training the AI. So making sure that AI is not just putting the name out there, it's also behind the scenes. It's a lot of work.
Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of work is an understatement, right? Because like a lot of companies think, okay, I'm just going to click the AI button and things are going to grow. And it's not necessarily that way. You brought up a good point, Cindy, that, a lot of times you have to train, right? Like even if you're using something as simple as ChatGPT, it's something that we teach in our, in our free Prime Prompt Polish PPP course all the time. Is even when you're in ChatGPT, you don't just copy and paste something. Like, you have to train it. You have to steer it to really get the results that you want. I think that's a super important point. So Cindy, we've talked about a little bit of everything. Like, hey, will AI take our jobs or not? What AI means right now in the tech scene. How startup founders can use it to grow. But maybe, for someone listening, what's kind of that one piece of advice, that one takeaway that you hope others, maybe a SaaS founder, you caught their ear right now. What is that one piece of advice that you have for them that might just help them use AI to grow?
Before we move on, I kind of want to know what you think of it. Do you think AI? I love to listen to, and also people on the show. What do you guys think? Do you guys think AI? Because I love to hear what people think. Do you guys think that AI is here to take the jobs, or do you think it's just, what is your take?
This is good. We've been 100+ episodes, and I don't know if anyone's actually asked me a question, so this is good.
Oh, this is
So
good.
I'll say this, Cindy, and then I'll toss it back to you as we wrap the show up. I think right now, let's look at it in two different ways. One, I don't know about the tech scene. I don't, right? I'm not a tech expert. My company has worked with plenty of startups, but I wouldn't consider myself a tech expert. So I'm not sure in the tech space. But I think in general, AI is probably going to be a little more impactful on jobs than a lot of us think. My personal take is that there's been a lot of this very maybe overly optimistic viewpoints on not just generative AI, but on AI in general. I think we've kind of been running with these taglines, that make us feel good about AI. Kind of the one you hear a lot is, hey, AI won't take your job. Someone using AI will. And we kind of use that, I think, as a security blanket, as if that generative AI is not very innovative, or it's not, as impactful as it actually can be. So my personal take that I actually don't talk about a lot here on the show is that it will be much more impactful, for all industries. And so I'm even, specifically always watching, what's happening in California, what's happening in Silicon Valley, and even, kind of like what we talked about here, Cindy. Are these companies now struggling to raise money? Because I think also, I always tell people, follow the money, right? And there's certain, there's certain hard truths when it comes to AI and when it comes to money as well. Because if there's one thing Wall Street hates, if there's one thing investors don't necessarily like, it's employees, So when companies, the big companies invest, tens of billions of dollars into AI, and they maybe lay off a lot of companies, their stock price goes up. So I think it's something we don't talk about a lot, because it kind of makes us feel uncomfortable, and because there's a lot of uncertainties, in what that means. But I do think that there is obviously a lot of potential for good. There are obviously going to be a lot of new industries and new jobs created because of AI. But I do think, we kind of hold on to those security blanket statements of, hey, AI won't take my job, someone using AI will, which I think is not necessarily true, because, that person using AI in theory can replace a whole, department, a small team, right? If someone's using AI and they're really great at it in theory, you could be looking at, 3, 4, 5 jobs potentially that it could replace. But you hope, companies are still have a growth mindset and not necessarily addition by subtraction. So that's my take. I know that was a little bit of a rant, so we got our rant in for the week that everyone is always rooting for the rant. But yeah, Cindy, like, I'd love, kind of your closing thoughts on it, and specifically, what you feel, what do you see in the next couple years specifically with this in the tech startup scene?
Yeah, I think for a couple of, let's say in 5 years, I really think AI will take over. Every company is going to have AI in their company. I don't think right now a lot of companies are playing it safe. They're putting AI a little bit in their company, so that if AI becomes this giant, even more bigger, they could just say, "Oh, I've been AI." So I think it's definitely going to be something that every company has, and every company is, implementing. And I think it's going to take over. Now, I'm very curious to know, is it going to replace the jobs? I don't think so. I really think that it's going to be a tool that a lot of companies are going to use, but then they're going to keep their employees, but it's going to be much harder. People are going to be working, 10 times harder than they used to, right? Yeah. But AI is definitely here to stay.
Oh, it's definitely here to stay. That's a great point. So, hey, we covered, Cindy, we covered a little bit of everything. This was fun. This was a very interesting conversation. Like I said, the first time a guest has asked me for my take on something. So we got to end our week on a rant. Cindy, thank you so much for joining the Everyday AI Show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. And hey, everyone, as a reminder, please go to youreverydayai.com. We covered a lot in today's show. So if you didn't catch it all, don't worry. You can go sign up for the free daily newsletter. We do this, sometimes people ask, hey, Jordan, when can I listen to the show? Every single day, Monday through Friday. We go live at 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Cindy, thank you for joining us, and everyone else. And we'll see you next week with more Everyday AI. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for today's edition of Everyday AI. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a rating. It helps keep us going. For a little more AI magic, visit youreverydayai.com and sign up to our daily newsletter so you don't get left behind. Go break some barriers, and we'll see you next time.